What's up, everybody, and welcome to Weekday Wagers live on a Weekday Wagers YouTube channel. I am your host, Daniel Greer, and with me today is Mark Wallace as we break down this amazing FIFA World Cup where we now have the England side going against Argentina, where we have Harry Kane going against Messi. Like, it's going to be a phenomenal game coming up in just probably less than an hour, right about that mark. And so it should be a great game, as the entire World Cup has been a great game, where Spain shocked France yesterday and sent them packing to the third place game. We're going to see today who can continue on and go into the finals. And so it's going to be a great time as we look through that. We're also going to talk about and answer any questions you have. There's not a lot of sports going on, but we do have two plays because the NBA and the WNBA are still playing. So we'll make sure we get you those plays here in about 15 minutes. We're also going to talk about some Major League Baseball and what's going on with that. I want to ask Mark about the home run derby because it was phenomenal. Plus, let's talk about that All-Star game that happened last night. Pretty much a snooze fest. All of that today on the show. But let's go ahead and get to it, and let's bring in Mark as we talk about everything that is FIFA, because that's what everybody's wanting to talk about in general, Mark. But, sir, how are you?
I'm doing – actually, it's kind of a weird Wednesday. We'll call it the triple dub effect. We have all of the smoke from the wildfires that is burning up in Canada right now, blowing down. It has turned outside this eerie shade of green, like a green haze. The only time I've ever seen a kind of green haze like this was when I was down south and they had a flipping tornado warning, and the sky turns that ominous kind of green color. That's what it is outside. So. Yeah,
you don't have tornadoes up there?
Very, very infrequently. I mean, I think we had one, but not to the extent like they're not rating like a F1, F2, F3. It's like maybe this was a downburst.
Interesting. I'm always curious because we do have, some tornadoes here in Memphis area, more in the south, but I was always curious about the Northeast and how the weather really affects, because everybody deals with different things. Not everybody is the same. But people are asking, Joe's asking Mark, what is that shirt? That's the Yellowstone.
My Yellowstone Duck Ranch shirt.
Wow. Whoa. Easy, boy. Easy. Easy. Don't go down too far. It's the
drop down. That's that automatic desk.
Well, that's cool.
My favorite shop.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, well, real quick, before we get too far into this World Cup, dude, I just got my hat and my shirt.
Sharp.
I also got the Weekday Wagers, and I do love that we put the dub on the side, and so having that, it just wouldn't show up well on the camera, and so I went with the black one. I also got the white shirt. I got the icon shirt. I'm curious. We're going to figure out the blues. We're going to figure that out, because I'm never going to wear both at the same time. Just for right now, literally came in the mail 4 minutes before the show started, because I've been having all types of FOMO. And it hit me hard yesterday or the day before that, whatever it was, when Kim got hers. I'm like, I ordered mine and it said it shipped on July 7th. It shipped and it literally just arrived. So I don't know what route they took for it to get here. But it wasn't good. But either way, I love it. So if you want to get your own merch, you can go over to weekdaywagers-shop.
And I will say
fourthwall.com.
Yeah, I will say that I saw the picture of the post that Miss Kim put up on X.
Yeah.
Wow. The game day wipes look good.
They do. It does. But yes, her lips to God's ears, it's about flipping time. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to the World Cup, because I want to ask a very important question. One, let's talk about the odds, and Jeff throwing in a haymaker from far, far away in the social media world. I don't usually show social media comments, but I'm going to show it today, because you got to be a member to comment. But I will show it today, because England team total over 1.5 at plus 175 is awesome value for 2 goals. Could possibly be because Argentina's defense is not great, but Jeff coming in out of nowhere. I do love that. He had one yesterday. It was 2 goals scored for Spain. It's like a plus 160, plus 165. I saw on social media. But today's game, anything that you expect? Do you have a team that you love that you would rather see win, or a storyline for whatever reason pull out in this game?
Look, the one thing about soccer that transcends any other sport, any other sport, is the historical bad blood that flows through the veins of each side of both these teams, both England and Argentina. There was a small little battle that occurred in the Falkland Islands. I don't know if you remember that or not. The Argentinian team is referencing their fight against the English in the Falkland Islands, and this is a chance for retribution. I mean, who the hell is pulling up old world battles in fights of wars as motivation to play in today's game? I mean, that to me is mind-boggling, but that's the level that we get. I hope that we see a fantastic game between Sir Henry Kane, and Messi. I think it's going to be a phenomenal matchup. I wouldn't be surprised, though, like we saw in yesterday's game, where it's the supporting cast that does all the lifting, because these guys are just getting all the attention.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited about just watching it in general, and so it should be a good match just overall. But looking at this, the best odds I see for art, and I'm looking at just to qualify to advance. However you want to look at the actual wording. I'm not looking at the money lines, because it scares me to death that they could go into extra time, and so I'm going to stay away from that. But Argentina, the best odds to qualify and advance is plus 116. And the best odds I've seen so far, and that's at FanDuel. The best odds for England to advance to qualify is minus 125. So pretty much, I wouldn't say it's a toss-up, but it's a pretty close toss-up. Any team, if you had to pick one right now to advance for whatever reason, what would you like to see happen today? Odds out of the way.
Odds out of the way. I would love to see Argentina win this game, or at least advance. And I think that it does. First of all, this really is Lionel Messi's last run, right? I mean, there's no way he's coming back 4 years from now to battle again in a World Cup. So I think that we're seeing the last of his World Cup career. I also think that England is so good from top to bottom. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw a little underdog upset, because England's already looking ahead to the final. So I kind of do like Argentina here.
Nice. Okay. I will be cheering for Argentina just because I love Messi. Harry Kane, I know who he is. He doesn't wow me. He doesn't jump off the screen and get me like Messi has over the years. Messi is 39. I'd love to see him go to a finals, take on Spain. I think that'd be a great game just overall. And the storyline in general, Messi, one more time, can he get it done at the ripe old age of 39 and actually win this whole thing? Would be phenomenal. But Joe's saying he is betting Argentina to advance and betting both teams to score. I'm seeing both teams to score at minus 130. I don't know if anybody else has anything better, but that's over at DraftKings. I'm just looking and see if there's anything else somewhere else, but that's where I see that. Does that excite you at all?
I do like both teams to score. I think where yesterday we saw all the goal scoring happen from Spain's side, I don't think we're going to see that today. I think we're going to see balanced attacks on both sides of the ball. Neither one of them is going to try to park the bus and just, kind of hold the ball and pass it back and forth and really extend those possessions. I don't think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see two teams who like to get out and run, like to get out and push the ball and force the attack. It opens the door to a counterattack. I think we see plenty of scoring. I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up 2-2 going into the penalty kicks phase to decide this.
That would be cool. But also that means, I guess tell me if I'm wrong, but that means that you have to be on the field when the game is over after the 2 extra, time. You have to be on the field to take penalty kicks, which means that you'd have to have, guys in the names of, Messi and Kane, both to extend through the entire game and extra time to make it, to be able to be there at the very end. I would assume they'd last unless something, obviously, injury related, cards related, because they hand those things out like cookies. Like I think that they would both be on the field, and if they're not, it would be disappointing to see that. But overall, I'm excited about it. The best odds I've seen. Both teams to score -110 on MGM. So go ahead and get that right now. But I want to talk about the home run derby, and so I'm going to push back our plays here for about another 10 minutes. So here in about 10 minutes, we'll get to our plays. But I have to ask you, Jordan effing Walker, and I believe I read that right. Jordan effing Walker, Nate's guy, tarps off for the Cardinals, got it done. The most important question, Mark, did you watch?
Yes, the second half. I entirely missed the first rounds. I saw the finale between Schwarber and Walker. That's when I tuned in. That's it. That's all I watched.
Wow.
So, well, full disclosure here. I was also getting all the text messages between you and Robbie saying, these announcers suck. This is horrible, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not even getting into that. I have zero interest in listening to one bad announcing over an event that I don't particularly care for to begin with. I will say what I saw Jordan Walker do was beyond phenomenal.
Right.
I mean, not only was he just crushing the ball, he literally reached in to Kyle Schwarber's body and pulled out his soul. The look on his face as Walker was just smashing home run after home run, it was just like, you almost felt sorry for the guy. You're like, get him out of there. He can't watch this. And I also noticed that when they named the players in last night's game, to who would swing in the swing off if it ended up in a tie, there was one name noticeably absent, and that was Kyle Schwarber's.
Yeah, that
I think he broke him.
Yeah, well, I think it's like, hey, you've done enough. Let's get you out. And if I'm on the NL side, I'm like, hey, I have Jordan Walker at my disposal. He's not starting, going to be warmed up at the very end of the game. I'm definitely putting him in. I don't want to ask him. He is a nobody. He's making $800K a year. He made more by winning the actual home run derby. But I will say that this was the best home run derby I've seen in a very long time. I've seen him with is it Josh Hamilton, right? I think Josh Hamilton, right? When anyway, when he was, I think it was out in New York in the Mets. I believe he was like crushing. Like it was like he put on a show. That was like a one player thing. I've seen Griffey, and I've even seen Cal Ripken Jr. in the home run derby contest. I've seen every single one of them as far as I can remember. I've forgotten more than I've seen and could possibly remember. But this is one of the best I've seen in a very long time, to which, even, people who were saying that it wasn't going to be that good was phenomenal. It was great television because we got to see every single home run. And the reason you love home runs is to see a ball that is literally like this big disappear into the night. Yeah. And you're seeing a guy and you're like, how is he doing this? Because not everybody can hit a ball that far, I promise. But you're seeing these happen. We're actually enjoying it. These guys are able to hit the ball hard. And it's not like hey, can I just hurry up and hit enough just to hopefully get some out before the clock runs out so I don't look like an idiot. It's like a race. This was more of old school baseball style. It gave me everything I wanted. Props to whoever came up with the new rules, because it wasn't the outs. It was only the swings. So I think this was the best of the best. In my opinion, on the actual home run derby, best of the best by far in the last 10 years, if not the last 15, 20, 25 years.
Let's pump the brakes on the kudos to the rule changes for just 1 second, because whoever came up with that stupid magenta ball ought to get fired.
Right.
Ought to get fired.
They've done that every year, though. They've done it. It used to be State Farm. Yeah, State Farm used to have that ball. It used to be a gold ball. It used to be different colors. It's still different colors. It's been like that.
In the timed event, they never had that. In the timed event, it was just a constant feeding of baseballs. I don't remember seeing that.
Okay. Well,
I do think the magenta, you get these guys locked in. and all of a sudden you start switching up the balls, and come on. If you want them to hit home runs, keep everything constant. Let them get locked in. Let them get dialed in, and let them crush the ball. Just leave it alone. Everybody knows that it's the last swing. You don't need a stupid magenta ball to signify. This isn't the NBA three-point shooting contest where this is your golden ball. This one's worth more. It's not worth more. Still worth one stupid home run.
Yeah.
Just keep the balls the same. Yeah. And they should also keep a time limit between pitches.
No. That wasn't a problem. That wasn't a problem. And I think if you do that, you start getting into other areas. I think it's fine because I don't want to force anybody to have to hurry up and hit. I think people were taking 2 pitches at times, sometimes a third, but it's because the person throwing gets a little erratic on a pitch, and so it's like there's a gust of wind blowing right before you're about to swing the golf club, and you're like, all right, let me step off for a second, take another step, let me step back up to the tee. Like, I think that's what it was. I don't think anybody was taking advantage of anything, which I loved, and it built the drama, especially in the end when guys walked off. Nobody took timeouts, which I thought somebody would force a timeout at some point, and they didn't. So I think what they could do is change the lacing on those balls at the very end, just to they want to give something to it, put a stamp on there as this is sponsored by somebody. But did you know, or did you see? I don't know how long they've been doing this, but every person who had their balls, they would sign them all. So every time somebody had a home run, you got the ball signed by that player.
Oh, I did not know that. That's a cool thing.
Yeah,
that's a cool.
I thought so too. Because when you catch one, you're catching literally like a piece of memorabilia. Like you're catching that. But overall, I thought it was, as Kim's sister said, she gave it a 10 out of 10. I thought it was a 10 out of 10. I think you can poke holes in anything. You get rid of the magenta balls, get rid of the bracket at the very end. I think it should go from, was it 8 to 4? Yeah, 8 to 4 to 2 to 1. I don't think it needs to go to a bracket. I think it should be the best 4. But the reason
I agree,
because then Jordan Walker would have hit more in that second round, which could play out. The only person that gets advantage is the last guy.
I agree 100%. It doesn't need to be a bracket. I mean, you're basically, you're just taking away the top guy. And then, I wasn't that surprised to see Ben Rice wasn't in the final. But at least he was better than Chas Chisholm did the year before. So I'll give him that. I would say this. Take away the bracket. Keep the swings. And what I saw in that finale, open the door. If they can just clean up the format, open the door for next year, I would actually be interested in watching that, because what we saw this season was incredible.
Yeah,
it was incredible. And it was electric to watch that guy just crush and crush and crush.
Yeah, you have to have the big names, which you're getting Schwarber, Harper, but then it allows for a guy in Jordan Walker, who the reason he was sent down to the Memphis Redbirds, and he could never, stick with the St. Louis Cardinals, and he's had issues because he just wasn't a player that could lift the ball. And so I don't know if anybody knows the story behind Jordan Walker. His mom went to MIT. His dad went to Harvard. So if he wouldn't have played baseball, he probably would have been like a scientist of some sort. Like, dude's like brainiac smart, very good family, but he could not lift the ball. And at 6'5", 250, whatever, he was having trouble, very much like Cagliano, who doesn't have a natural lift to the ball. Everything is cut, which it rises, instead of like a Schwarber, like he lifts it and then lets it float through. There's a different way of hitting, not to get too nerdy on you. But the reason he was going to be almost this season, he was going to start with the Memphis Redbirds, because they've been trying to get him to lift the ball more to hit home runs. And he worked all off season and all last season trying to lift the ball. And finally, he got to go and start the season with the St. Louis Cardinals, got to be on the major league team. And then from there, all the hard work paid off, where he was finally lifting the ball, as we've seen him lift the ball and hit home runs all season long for the most part. He's went on some cold spells, but he's been very good hitter, especially as of late. And then now gets an invitation to the Home Run Derby and then wins it, which is crazy. shout out to him for the hard work he's put in, how to change your swing just a tiny bit. It's very tough to change the angle and the launch angle of your swing. So the hard work that he's done has absolutely paid off. So shout out to him. But all in all, I loved it. But let's get to our picks, and we'll talk about the All-Star game and what debacle that was last night. And I also want to talk about maybe if we should do away with it, all that. But let's go ahead and get to our picks here. I'm going to let you go first because you're it's always the ladies first.
Well, thank you very much. And with the only WNBA game taking place this evening, give me the little action on the Golden State Valkyries and Indiana Fever to go over the 165.5 here. You can get it at minus 115 over BetMGM. Look, Indiana has been scoring at a ridiculous level lately. And Golden State, absolutely on the other side of this, has enough offense that they can keep up with this Fever team. The Fever led the league at 94 points per game. They're coming off a 109-point performance against Las Vegas. Kelsey Mitchell has scored 20 or more in 7 straight games, and when Indiana gets rolling, they can turn a game into a track meet in a hurry. Golden State, they are known for their defense. The Valkyries will clamp you down, but this team has won 7 straight for a reason. They have a balanced attack. Their offense is just as good as their defense here. And when these two teams met last time, the game finished at 90-88 for 178 total points. That tells me Golden State can still produce offensively, even in close battles. They don't just rely on their defense to shut you down. Give me the over here at 165.5.
I like that. The ladies here. Let's go with the men, and we're going to go with the young guys here in the NBA Summer League. And this is the Phoenix Suns money line at minus 120. I believe where I found this was at BetMGM, if I'm not mistaken. You can get this over on DraftKings at minus 1.5 at minus 115, but I chose the money line with the best odds. It's not much difference, and I don't have to worry about them winning by 2. They can win by 1 because, as you know, if they get to overtime, they could possibly get there still tied. Then they go to next bucket wins. There could be a free throw. There's a lot that could come into play. So I'm going to stay away from that. I know it's just 1 point, but it's only a 5-point difference of the minus 120 or minus 115. But the reason I like this is the Phoenix Suns have something to play for. They could possibly win this game and be in contention, depending on how much they win this game by, to actually be eligible to go to the Final Four of this, which there's not a lot of guys on this Suns team that are phenomenal. They're not the big name. The only big name that you might know is Malawach, which is the big center from Duke. He was a rookie last year, second-year player this year coming up. But he has been dominating, been phenomenal. I think he can dominate this Detroit team who doesn't have a lot. They played terrible last game after I bet on them. I'm now 5-2. Screw them. I'm back-to-back losses, so hopefully we're not doing a three-peat here. After my bragging going 18-1 last year. But the Detroit Pistons haven't looked good. They had Chaz Lanier is the only thing that they had going for them really in the last 2 games. But I think that we have a chance to take advantage of them. They're not good defensively. They struggle at shooting. Because of that, I think a guy, Malawach, who is phenomenal down in the paint, he's going to play. Chance for them to get the win and continue their track and give them just a little bit of a chance to go through the Final Four. So that'll be our 2 plays, staying on the hardwood for sure.
Well, listen, you have been killing it in that NBA Summer League. And if I can just toot my own horn for a little, 12-2 since Friday in the ladies.
Really?
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Is incredible.
It's a crazy, crazy time right now in the WNBA. You're looking at these awful teams that everybody had written off, who have found their second life. And now they're playing a lot more competitive while teams start to look ahead of them and catching underdogs with the points, catching totals like tonight. Yesterday, we hit over and an under. It's just, yeah.
That's all it takes is getting hot. Don't let us get hot, especially during the cold time. Football is coming up, to which I was looking at some plays, and it literally showed me the college football lines of the first week. And I was like, okay, let me start dabbling a little bit.
We're getting there.
We got 2 more weeks of non-football, and then we're going to go heavy on football on Fridays for the next month or so. And then from there, we'll transition to college, to NFL, and then we're a month and a half. We're gangbusters at that point. But let's finish out this show, which has been obviously it's very quiet, but we did have the All-Star game last night, to which the AL won. I believe it was 4-0. Is that right?
Speaking of quiet, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
They had
was.
all the runs they needed in the first inning.
It was so bad. But let's look at this. The Junior Caminero did get hit, and Miss Kim says the x-rays were negative. So that's important. Maybe he had a scare, but supposedly he does plan to play on Friday. I want to talk about two different things.
Hold on 1 second.
Go ahead.
These guys wear as much gear as professional football players nowadays when they go up to swing the bat. Unless it's a direct shot to the
It was to the hand. Like,
yeah, but they're wearing the backing on the gloves. I mean, all that stuff has the backing. That it's
not every player does.
Well,
I did not. It made it. I didn't feel comfortable. Like, a lot of guys had the big elbow pad, whatever. And this was in the very beginning when all this was coming up. So I'm not saying like, hey, this is like a few years ago. I'm talking about 20 years ago. My God. And I had some players who leaned over the plate a little bit more. They had the elbow pad, and one guy had the face thing that came over his face because he got hit once. I didn't. I tried them. Didn't like it. Some people don't wear them. I would probably wear the thing on the back of my hand, though, on my left hand, my front hand to the pitcher, because of this situation, because you're watching the ball and all of a sudden it cuts last minute and it cuts into your hands because you're hitting a ball
right
6 to 8 inches from your belly button. So it don't take much from the ball. Like, that's where your hands are. And so really but yes, I don't know if he does. I don't want
either that or on the right fingers. I get that. You get hit in the right finger. You got to know if it's broken or not. Because that's it.
Yeah. I don't know. But yes, I would say it's definitely going to hurt. It just deadens the blow. It doesn't like make it easy. It still hurts either way. But either way, let's get far from that. I want to talk about two different things with the All-Star game. One, did you watch it at all? Because I watched 0.0 minutes of it.
So the only thing I saw was the top of the first, where Sanchez loaded the bases and then gave up a 2-run single. And I was so thankful. I honestly thought about putting out an exclusive play on a first inning prop bet based on who we had for the starting lineup, starting pitchers, and everything. Sanchez is a horrible first inning pitcher.
Really?
Horrible. And then I saw where like 80% of the money was on the no-run first inning. And I just had to watch it. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes the best bets are the ones that you don't make.
100%.
And this was one of those times for me. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine. And then we switched it, and my wife and I had a wonderful evening catching up on our other shows. But there's nothing that interests me about this All-Star game.
Yeah. I'm very much like Miss Kim right here. I watch clips. I saw the clip of Caminero getting hit. I saw some other stuff. I watched the box score at times. I literally started quarterback last night. The new quarterback show, me and my wife watched one episode.
Oh, okay.
Was really, really a very good. I'm more interested in this season because it's 4 different guys, 4 different parts of their life. One's a rookie, one's a second-year player in Jaden Daniels. One guy's Baker Mayfield, and obviously he's been around it. One's Joe Flacco, who is on the edge of like falling off the cliff, right? And so there's so many different. I'm more interested this year than I have been in other years. But let's stay on this All-Star game, because I want to ask the question, because I think we're getting to the point where it's not enjoyable. It can't be enjoyable for much. Like maybe your first year, maybe your second, maybe if you're second time there. But after that, it's just a chore. You'd rather be on an island somewhere. If it was me, I'd rather be on an island. Should they do away with it? And if they should, what could they do in place of it?
See, and that's it's a loaded question, because you, first of all, to analyze the All-Star game in and of itself, you have to take a look at how important is it to the fans or to the people who are playing in it.
Right.
I said before on Monday that the All-Star game used to be a game where the players there, it felt it was an honor for them to play. And not only did they want to play in it, they wanted to win.
Yeah.
And so you get guys who are throwing at batters. You get guys who are head first sliding into bases, and they're doing everything they can to manufacture runs. So I think your first piece is looking at it and say, well, who's this really for? And
Right.
and I think that what we see is a real divide between, and not just the MLB. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying in all professional sports, there is such a huge divide between the players' attitudes and what the fans would like to see. And I think until those two things can get more aligned, you're going to end up with a less than stellar product, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
And it's tough because these guys are making billions, millions upon millions of dollars. And it's not important to them that, me and my son want to go down to Philly to watch them play in an all-star game. It's like, so what? Yeah. But to us, it would mean everything. So, I think that until you can align those, it's always going to be a horrible product.
Yeah. And that's the tough part at this point is we've done it for so many years. It's the thing you just do. I don't think it's anything anybody wants to do. I just think it's like, hey, I just have to do this because I've been playing so well. I want the accolade of being an all-star, but I don't really want to play in the game necessarily, except for outside of maybe first time or maybe the second time people. And I think there's different ways you could figure this out. I saw, I think it was Scotty. He said, what happened to celebrity softball? Well, I think something you could do is keep the celebrity softball thing away. I don't think we need that. But I think there could be a combination of some sort. So the Savannah Bananas are a thing. They literally, majority of their stuff is all about their dancing. Let's take dancing out of it completely. But let's bring in some different rules. Get the crowd more engaged. So if for some reason you do foul tip, they catch it, you're out. Every inning is depending on how many hits that inning you get, depending on how many runs, they count differently. I think the scoring could be more entertaining where you do something different. And I think it should be maybe less innings possibly than 9. I think that would be interesting. I think keeping it lighthearted. The only issue is the pitching because those pitchers, they're out there. They want to show the fastball. So how do you do away with that? That's my only thing. I think you can get the guys to do a certain way, and hit wise, it could make it more fun. The problem is the pitching. How do you have something for the pitchers? Because at that point you're struggling because they want to, throw in there, but it could be like only fastballs. I think that would be interesting. Only fastballs. And maybe, we're just swinging away. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I think this could be interesting somehow, some way.
I think I like where you're going, but ultimately it's always going to, no matter how we frame this, it's always going to end up with one side because of the current structure of MLB where pitchers don't have to bat anymore. You're always going to run into one of two things being true. Either you're going to please the offense and the defense based on the position players, or you're going to please the pitchers.
Right.
You will never have both of them in a place where they're both happy with whatever the decision is. Because if you're turning this into an entertainment type spectacle, the pitchers are going to be like, you're never going to see a Paul Skeens pitch in an all-star game. Why? Because he's not going to waste his time throwing in an all-star game where it is absolutely meaningless and more entertainment than anything else.
Did you not pitch last night?
No, I'm just saying in general.
Oh, okay.
You're not going to see him. He's going to be one of those ones who might get elected to the all-star game and be like, yeah, I'm out. I'm good. So you're never going to get those all-star pitchers. The flip side is if you make it more pitcher-friendly, you're never going to get the offensive players that you're looking to bring in. So I think it either has to mean a lot more than it does, or you have to remove any sort of value that it has and turn it into an entertainment only event.
And you have to have the players there if you want the home run derby to be good, because if you don't make it where they're coming to get, the acknowledgement the next night. They're not going to be there for the home run derby. Plus, people would say, if I don't have to be there for the home run derby on the next night, then I'm just going to take the whole time off and have a vacation. And then that hurts the home run derby, which I think they found some magic in as of this past year. And so I think that there has to be where they have to show up somehow. I think they can make it more fun, where it's less. And I don't want to turn it to softball, because softball, that's not the thing. But the pitcher's got to be allowed to play too. I don't know how you do that, because you don't want teams with the pitchers taking swings, because then you're talking about lats that they usually don't do that as much. That's when we're getting to that. So there's so many different things you could do. I think, in my opinion, all fastballs, no off speed, and just challenge it and see how, because at that point you're going to get more hits, you're going to have more fun. The pitchers get to do stuff like that. And Scotty brings up, how about USA versus the world? I don't care. I don't care. Could care less. I care more about AL versus NL than I do USA versus world. Could care less, because in all honesty, I'm rooting for these guys because it says Atlanta Braves, or if it says Los Angeles Dodgers or the New York Mets. I'm the Phillies. I'm cheering for them. I'm cheering for my guy. Don't care where they were born. I don't care if they're white. Don't care if they're black. I don't care if they're purple. I care because they're Atlanta Brave. For me, I don't care about USA versus world.
The World Baseball Classic was amazing,
but that's different worlds.
Reason. No, I understand what you're saying, but
yeah,
take that a step further. Just what Scotty just said. Take it just one step further and look at what the NHL did.
But they care. They care, and you can hit people.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? There's guys on the U.S. who playing up in Canada who are no longer on those teams because of the outcome of the Olympics. It is a much more entertaining event, a meaningful event, when you have that kind of partisan buy-in on whatever it is. Jack Caglione, if you want to root for Cags, root for Cags. He's playing for Team Italy or Team Europe, or however the breakdown would be. Root for him. Hell yeah, I hope he does a great job. I'm rooting for, whoever, Team US, Team Mexico. You can have those players, the individual players that you like, and still be able to break it out and watch them play the rest of the season for the Atlanta Braves, the Padres, whoever it is that your team that you support is. I just think that the NHL has nailed it. And what we ended up with last night is akin to the NBA All-Star game, finishing at 86-88.
Well, the NBA All-Star game, US versus the world. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I could care less on that too.
They have it broken. They have it broken down into already. You've got a 3-4 day window where you could do things, and you could have a mini tournament. 4 nations. Have it the 4 nations. The NHL did the 4 nations. I think it's a great, dude. Are you kidding? Between U.S. and Latin America would be absolutely incredible baseball to watch.
I would rather them just take the night off. I'd rather them play Murder, She Wrote on rerun instead of that, in all honesty. And I hate that show.
Listen, go watch Matlock or whatever it is that you need to do.
Last thing before we get out of here. Should baseball take more time off? Tomorrow is the first game. It is the Phillies. It's the Mets and the Phillies. Should they take more time off? Because literally, if you're on in the All-Star game, you have maybe a day to yourself, maybe off completely. No actual baseball.
Wait a minute. If you're on the All-Star team or if you're in the All-Star events, you have a day. Basically, today's their travel day. Do they deserve to have more time off?
Yes.
Come on. What are we talking about? Yeah. I think, you know what? Give baseball players more time off. Give teachers more time off. You know what? We all deserve more time off. We all deserve a 3-day work week. I'm all for 4-day weekends.
All right.
You're getting paid how much fucking money to play a sport that you love? Dude.
This is the correct answer. And this is what I was thinking is your last game would be Sunday, And then if you're taking the time off, you would have a actual full week. And the NFL does it. Why can't a game like baseball do it? Maybe it allows for the WNBA, or maybe this would be the week of NBA Summer League. This would be a different, like they could figure out a way to overlap, take an extra time. I'm telling you,
look,
the mental grind, this would allow you to free up your mind for 3 or 4 days. I promise.
This is ridiculous. Let me tell you something, because first of all, the WNBA dropped the ball on the scheduling, because if you only have 3 days off, why are you putting games that start at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time? You're an idiot.
You
idiot. Own the primetime slots. There's nothing else happening.
Wow, there's 2 games going on right now.
Yes, I know.
Oh, the one just finished.
It's so stupid. It's absolutely stupid. And you know what? The NFL does it, but guess what? They do it in season. They give everybody a bye week. You get it in season. You know what they don't do? They don't shut down the entire league so everyone can go on vacation for a week. That is absolutely moronic. Stupid. You want to give teams off? Schedule. Put it in the schedule. Let them schedule their time off. In fact, you could give 2 teams a week off, and it would not hurt the rotation of the schedule of games that you're doing. So MLB, take a note from the NFL playbook. Shorten up this all-star debacle that you have. Give teams time off so they can refresh their mind, go get a spa treatment, whatever they need to do, their nails, whatever. Do they need more time off? Stop.
The only way that they get more time off is if they've shortened the schedule. There's no way it's already getting too far into because of the new wild card games, and it's getting too far into October. Like it used to be barely into October. Now we're like midway through October at this point.
Which is why, I hope that one of these teams like Boston, a New York team, even a Philly team, they can get into the division series, even the World Series, and now you're dealing with possible snow. God, Give me Chicago in late October, and I promise you, it's a different dynamic of playing baseball then.
So right now, do we know? So I'm August the 9th right now. They still have games. August the 19th, they have games. Do they play into September? Just regular season? Like this is ridiculous. Like we're talking about September 2nd right now. We still have games. Like this is the dumb part of it. Like like summertime baseball. You end it. Your World Series should be the last week of maybe when it's week 0 college football. Like literally. Oh my God. September the 16th, we still have regular season games. September the 22nd. September the 27th.
Think about that. Let that just settle in for a second.
They're literally starting their playoffs in October.
Yeah.
That's the issue. That's the issue. All right. So that's the bigger issue. Shorten your season. I'm not talking about when you can go back, you can go to 140 games, and I promise you the owners would not love it. But there's got to be some kind of figured out. It is all about the money, Scotty. I agree with you. But my God, the playoffs last too long. Like make these a 5-game series. Like shorten the season a little bit. Like let's go back. We're missing the plot here.
You want to hear something funny? Not only do they push into football season, the Buffalo Sabres play their very first NHL hockey game of the regular season, mind you, October 3rd.
Wow. The NBA starts like end of October. Like
it's absolutely crazy.
What are we doing? It's dumb. They sure got to talk till noon about what's wrong with sports. We're just talking. We're sharing. Shut up, Joe. Nobody asked you. All right, that's all we got. No daily dinger today, except for the only dinger here is the Ding Dong and Joe. If you want to go play that, go to wherever sportsbookie is. He'll take a picture or tell his friends that he saw you, but he can't take the picture with you because he's working.
And Joe, don't you tail my WNBA play tonight.
Hell no.
I'm telling you right now, stay off of it.
Yeah. Go get back in your bed and don't play any of our bets. You've probably been playing mine. I went 0-2 the last 2 times. All right. Well, the game starting here in about 15 minutes, Argentina versus England. So go check that out. We'll be back here Friday. I think I'm gonna bring up the Major League Baseball and what teams we can look at, future awards, as well as there's also some phenomenal ones with the NBA futures, which Giannis to have 20 rebounds in a game, Giannis to have 50 points in a game. It's like a future bet, which is crazy. That's kind of where we're at right now. We're doing that kind of stuff. Should be fun.
Can I just tell you, I have gotten so many messages about our first ever Wages Awards.
Really?
Those were a hit.
Really?
People like them.
That was one of our better shows, numbers wise. And then Monday was a phenomenal numbers wise show. Today's been really good, but Monday was phenomenal. We are blowing out shows that had been doing roughly the same numbers as us, and we're finally blowing them out of the water. And so we're trying to grow this brand. It's taking time, but we're now got merch, so we'll see. But yes, better than the ESPYs. Did they happen this year? Are they still happening? Do we know?
The only reason I know the answer to that is because when Rapio was on Monday, he said he was doing odds for the ESPYs.
Oh,
I completely forgotten. Talk about another wasted show. Yeah, ESPYs, Oscars, Golden Globes, all stupid.
All stupid. We need Robbie for the real numbers. Oh, tonight at 8. It's tonight.
It's tonight at 8. Oh man,
that's the ESPYs. Yes. I had no idea.
I would rather watch a WNBA game.
Oh well, yeah. Nobody cares about that.
With the total score in the game. If my bet loses because they only manufacture 120 points, that to me would still be more entertaining than the ESPYs.
Yeah, no doubt. Well,
who's going to be there? Some baseball players because they got the day off.
Shut up. If they have to go to that, I would be irate. What I'm looking forward to is this. That's what I'm looking forward to. I can't wait for the first time that music hits. It's been so. Yes, I love it. I don't know why. It just gets me.
Dude, I was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
That just made everything tingle. That was a good one.
I didn't know it tingled anymore. All right, that's all we got. We'll see everybody on Friday. We'll have some more. We'll have the Daily Dinger back Friday as well as the plays. We're going to take us some time off of our member video plays. I apologize. I just don't have anything else. I'm really scraping the barrel to come up with anything right now because I've been so upset about Summer League. But anyway, that's all we got. We'll see everybody definitely on Friday. I'm not pushing the Rob Dar button again.